Good afternoon, everybody. We are very happy to be in Cyprus, and I would like first of all to thank Dimitris and his group for yesterday's lovely excursion, because for us it's the first time in Cyprus, and for me personally, I see first time people diving. I'm not a diver and don't intend to become, but it is very interesting to see the pleasure of diving and how they are so excited about it, and so it was really nice. Thank you very much. We are coming from Sarajevo. I'm head of Sarajevo Graphics Group. So before we start to say what we are doing, just to introduce my colleagues and myself. I'm associate professor at the University of Sarajevo, Faculty of Electrical Engineering. I'm leading the Sarajevo Graphics Group laboratory, and I'm also working at the Bosnian Radio Television as the head of Broadcast Design Department, which connects somehow computer science and this storytelling and art that we are doing within the group. You see here our research interests are quite wide. They range from technical sciences like computer science to visual arts, multimedia, and especially digital storytelling. That is our expertise in this consortium. Dr. Vensada Okanovic, my colleague, is assistant professor at University of Sarajevo, the same faculty. And she's into web technologies. She's teaching web technologies, and she's actually assisting us to put online all our applications that we are inventing and implementing within the projects. And another colleague of mine, Ada Sajak, has a Master's of Engineering, and she is working at the moment as a broadcast designer at Bosnian and Herzegovinian Radio Television, but she has been my teaching assistant for many years, and she decided to move into industry, let's say, because her artistic abilities prevailed over the technical interest, but still she's on all our projects, and she's mostly in charge of visual appearance of our projects. You will hopefully like it. So our motivation to explore cultural heritage is that we really believe that we can understand our past through cultural heritage, and that actually these digital technologies can help a lot to understand the past and to somehow raise awareness of the past and cultural heritage to the general public. During our 10 years of research, we have discovered that stories are a key part of visual presentations, especially in cultural heritage, because you can go to a museum and see wonderful exhibits, but if you don't know the story about them, if you don't know their context, then you are missing a significant part of their importance. So our goal in general is to review the forgotten cultural heritage and the cultural heritage which is destroyed or neglected somehow, and to raise awareness of it in collective memory of people. Sarajevo Graphics Group has been founded in 2005 at the Faculty of Electrical Engineering in Sarajevo. We have started from computer graphics, but then we introduced a lot of animation, visual arts, multimedia, and at the end, digital storytelling. My colleagues are always joking with me that I'm not an engineer, but I'm an artist. But for me, it's not an insult, but a kind of compliment, because we are a little bit sticking out in the engineering department, but we don't care and we are happy. So our projects mainly focus on cultural heritage virtual reconstructions and virtual museums. This is the overview of our projects. You can see that there are quite a lot of them. We are proud that we have reconstructed some sites that were completely neglected and some objects that completely disappeared from public memory because something else was built on the site and so on. I will just briefly introduce you with projects related with digital storytelling. It has been discovered that it really enhances cultural heritage presentations. We had an honor to be a part of a consortium Virtual Museum Transnational Network. It was a European network of excellence. For 4 years, we have been exploring virtual museums, and at the end, we concluded the project with a huge exhibition called Keys to Rome. It has been held in 4 cities: Rome, Sarajevo, Amsterdam, and Alexandria. We connected 4 large museums, and the topic of the exhibition was Roman culture or Roman Empire during the Emperor Augustus. So that Roman Empire at that time was containing all these places that I mentioned. So we connected 4 museums, some reconstructed archaeological sites from Roman period, and the physical exhibitions through the digital content. And we really believe that we had done a good job. This is on the right side an exhibition in Sarajevo in our city hall. On the left side you see one portable application that was connecting the exhibits from the physical exhibitions, adding some more information on the mobile devices. Our first digital storytelling experience was the virtual reconstruction of the Church of the Holy Trinity in Mostar. Mostar is a city in southern part of Bosnia and Herzegovina. Actually, it's the capital of Herzegovina. And that church was unfortunately completely destroyed during the war in Bosnia and Herzegovina by Croat forces. They have first burned the church and then they destroyed by explosive what remained from the church. So you can see here that actually that was the appearance of the site after the war. We have reconstructed the church using advices from the Orthodox priests from the Orthodox community in Bosnia and Herzegovina, but also we introduced a digital storyteller or a kind of live avatar. It was a priest from the church who used to be a main priest in the church, and he was really happy about our project. It for him was a completely new discovery of technologies and everything, and he volunteered to tell us the story of the church inside the church, or actually we recorded him on green screen and him superimposed in our virtual environment. So when you open the application, you can browse the church and hear him talking and see him talking about the church. It was a long time ago. It was in 2010. After that, we have actually virtually reconstructed several objects from Sarajevo. There is the founder of Sarajevo was Isa Beysakovic during the Ottoman period in 14th century, in 15th century, and unfortunately the objects that were first built by him and started the city of Sarajevo nowadays don't exist anymore, but the very clever government of communist period Yugoslavia built a gasoline station over that site, and the last object was torn down, so nobody actually knows what was there, and you have to go to the museum and look very carefully just to find out what was there. So we created several virtual applications and models, and you can see in his picture that we also added an interactive computer animation of a dervish ritual within one of the objects. It's a dervish teke that was in the site, and for our visitors is very exciting because they don't know what these dervish do inside, what is their prayer, why they are moving like that. So we put our visitor in the middle of the animation, and while the ritual is ongoing by animated characters, you can click on them and find out which one of each of them is doing and what they mean inside the ritual. And here you can see the top view of our virtual environment with all these objects presented using 3D models. Our Tašlihan project was one of the recent projects, and actually Tašlihan was the largest hotel or inn in Sarajevo during the Ottoman period, and it was built between 1540 and 1543 as an endowment of one benefactor, a governor at that time of Bosnian province within the Ottoman Empire. Today only one wall exists of that object, and there is a modern hotel built on the site. They preserved a little bit the archaeological excavation, but nobody can imagine how it used to look like. So we decided to reconstruct virtually the object. This is our model, and it was done by one of my students. So you can now browse the model, you can walk through the model, but also what is particularly important is that we introduced the model inside the story structure. So we have been collecting data from, of course, archaeologists and other colleagues, historians from the team, and we created a structure of stories that give you an overview of the object, of the building of the object, and at the end you can also enter in the object using the 3D model. what is interesting about this project is that a professional writer wrote the stories, and the stories were told in first person by one of the historical characters. Actually, he was a friend of the benefactor who funded the building of the object. And we also, my colleague visual artist has made a drawing of assumed appearance of that person. This is him, the storyteller. So all the stories are told through him, and he is telling the stories to the audience. And the stories are interactive, meaning that you can jump from various sub-stories and learn more about particular details of the topic. What is important here is that the audience was really very happy to hear that stories with such emotion of one person. And we actually realized in this project that that if a person tells you the story, that the perception is completely different from a documentary storytelling that just names the facts and events. And we say that there is no soul in that. So we decided in our future projects to introduce these storytellers, and I will also recommend to this consortium to somehow incorporate a kind of storyteller in the game or whatever we will be making during the projects. The Tašniham project is set up in the Museum of Sarajevo, and there is one model of Sarajevo during that time. There is an interactive application, and you can enter inside the project. Also, we made a serious game and a documentary, because there are some people, believe it or not, who don't like to have interactive stories. So they say, I want to watch a movie, I want to sit back and relax and watch a movie. And we decided to accommodate also them. We edited all the stories together, and they can watch them as a movie. And the last but not least is the White Bastion project, which is the newest project that we had. And it is about an object in the outskirts of Sarajevo city, a part of city walls. It is a fortress called White Bastion. And actually, we were approached by an archaeologist who was leading the excavation of the site. And he said that that site is so interesting because it has remains from 3 time periods, from medieval period, from the Ottoman period, and from Austrian-Hungarian period of our history. And he wanted us to present it somehow using virtual reality and digital storytelling. So we created 6 3D models. Interesting point is that the budget of this project was only €3,000. It was based on our enthusiasm and our crazy wish to do something in spite of not understanding of our government surrounding and whoever should be funding that. But we were lucky that the BH Radio Televisions agreed to a co-production, so we gave them the stories as a documentary, and they gave us the crew to record the stories. So this is the structure of the project. This can be interesting also for this consortium, because it shows how you can present 3 periods in a history of an object using a combination of digital stories and 3D interactive virtual environments, which also contain stories, and they contain also reconstructed archaeological findings from the site, because many objects were found on the site. They are now in the museum. For example, parts of weapons. And if you see only that part, you cannot really understand what it was part of, especially not us who are not experts. So we reconstructed also the remaining of the object, and we can the user can enter in the environment, click on the object, and then see both the remain and the reconstructed object. I will not go into details. I would like to tell you that we have been working as usual in an interdisciplinary team. So here you see the various professionals. The stories scenarios were written by the professional novelist and writer. The visual artists were involved, the technical people, the TV crew. We had an actor. And instead of talking about the project, I will play you a 4-minute video that can give you an overview of what we have done.
Ja sam sarajevski vojnik, zatočenik vremena, ostavljen od smrti i prolaznosti. Svjedočim stoljeća ratove, požare, tuge i radosti. Star sam koliko prvi kamen koji je u sarajevske bedeme uzidan da zaustavi tuđe vojske. U ovu sam priču ušao da vam pokažem svoj dom u bijeloj tabiji, koja je srce starog grada vratnika, što dominira istočnim prirodnim vratima Sarajeva. Mene su pohodili mnogi, oni odlazili, a ja ostajao. Sve drugo će proći, Sarajevo će biti, svi drugi će otići, a ja ću ostati da pripovijedam priču o njihovoj prolaznosti i o mome trajanju u vječnosti Sarajeva. Mnogi su u mnogim vremenima sanjali Sarajevo na koljenima. Zato su mnogi u mnogim vremenima slali svoje izvidnice da pobilježe ima li se Sarajevo odakle braniti. Sve njih je zanimao moj dom, dom vječnog sarajevskog vojnika. Sve drugo će proći, Sarajevo će biti. Samo sarajevski vojnik, zatočenik vremena, ostavljen od smrti i prolaznosti, traje i pjeva. Ja sam vojnik sreće, mene metak neće. Zašto bolan imaš sreće pa te metak neće? Zato bona komšinice, što gledam ti bijelo lice. Ma šalim se. Sloboda Sarajeva je starija od vremena. Zato ova priča u ovoj priči.
So this was a short movie. The project is online and you can visit it if you like to see it. The link is on our lab website. And I would like to thank you for your attention. This is the link on our lab's website and all the projects are there. And I will be looking forward to enjoying this project and in this project meeting. Thank you very much.